Okay, so for my assignment for it, I decided to research immigration. I chose it because I already know my stance on it, but I do want to know more about both sides, for and against it, just because I don't really have a lot of solid info on them. I also chose it because with Donald Trump having just been elected the new president, and with him having um, different views on immigration than what I have, I want to know more about both sides of it because if anything does change with policy, like in the next 4 years, I want to be informed and be sure on like my opinions and what I know about it. I went about doing this by looking up articles and blogs online. I would have loved to interview someone, but most people I know have really similar viewpoints on this subject as I do. So I found it was a lot more diverse to go online and to look at different blogs and articles. And I did find a lot of different opinions, so it was really useful for me. So I kind of looked up blogs and things about illegal immigration as well as the Syrian refugee issue that's happening right now, just to see what people have been saying about it. So looking at the legal immigrations, I did find one article on a blog called The Rugged Individualist, and he talked about the wall that Donald Trump wants to build across the border between the United States of America and Mexico. This wall would be built to like prevent illegal immigration or to at least make it a lot harder. And this man writing the article compares the wall to the Great Wall of China, saying that maybe one day this would even be called the Great Wall of America. And he talks about how, the wall in China was built to keep out, foreigners and to protect who was inside, and now we're calling it great. I thought it was kind of not the best comparison because I'm pretty sure that the Great Wall of China, people were still getting over it and attacking them. So I'm not really sure how valid that point was. But it was interesting to see his concerns about that. I found one blog that had 100 reasons against, 100 things against illegal immigration, illegal immigrants. And this was written by a woman, and her biggest concern, after reading through it, was people from different cultures coming in and keeping their cultures instead of embracing American, or like kind of like a melting pot, like making like, what's the word? Kind of combining all the cultures. Saying how like Puerto Ricans have parades and things like that. It was honestly very xenophobic, but it was interesting to see like her like genuine concerns about having so many immigrants from like Mexico and Central and South America coming and staying, together and like in their own groups and separating from Americans. So that was interesting, even though I didn't agree with most of it. There's also a lot of blogs about the Syrian refugees, as that's like been an up and coming issue in the past couple of years. A lot of blogs that I found, especially one I read on the Odyssey, was just saying that it's not our problem. So like even though like it is a problem for the Syrians and for the refugees there, that America should be putting its time and efforts and resources somewhere else here instead of there. For me, I've always looked at it more as like a moral thing, but it is like a valid point, I guess. There was a blog I found called The American Thinker, written by a woman named Carol Brown, and she has lots of thoughts about the Syrian refugees. It's kind of anti-Islam, but it was interesting to read about. She looked at them as invaders and saying that the teachings of Islam are incompatible with Western civilization, which I don't agree with. But she did have lots of sources and things backing her up. She also talks about the fear of and terrorists or jihadists. Even talks about inbreeding and diseases coming from them, which was a little different. But they were, like I said, genuine concerns. So it was really interesting for me to see all these opinions that even though I don't agree with most of them, these people do believe these things and argue against them. And like I was saying, this is like the immigration has been a big topic because of policy, and that policy that might be changing. There currently is policy in America for this. We allow 675,000 permanent immigrants to come in annually, but currently we have 11 million illegal immigrants in our country. So there have been like ways to try to stop that. Obama's taken executive action to like crack down on borders, deport felons instead of families, make them accountable, have undocumented people paying taxes, things like that. So it's been really interesting to read about that. I think because there is going to be change soon, I feel like this was a really helpful assignment for me. And I do feel a lot better knowing about both sides of the issue instead of just my side. So that's it.